congratulations on this. I'm a huge Marvel fan. Uh, I'm very impressed with voice actors because you guys have to tell a story without being seen. How do you prepare for a role where you just have to do everything with your voice?
Well, it was that. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. A pleasure to meet you. Thanks for having me on board. I'm so excited to talk for hours about this project if you want me to. I'm so grateful because obviously, as a Marvel geek fan myself, being part of something Marvel related as an actor is like, whew, I'm
Yeah.
on cloud nine, so I can't even begin to describe. But so the whole process from the casting to to actual recording, it was a lot of work. I personally, once they sent me the scripts and I read all the episodes, and I'm like, wait, I'm on like on every episode. Like I have heavy tons of dialogue. I started doing my research and then knowing that it was a podcast that was made 2 years ago in English originally that was super successful, Wolverine the Long Night. I was like, okay, so I have some materials to work with. I have the original podcast to listen to, and I listened to it like 10 times probably. And then I bought the comic myself, which I have right here, which I'm showing off to everybody. I bought it online, which was hard to get. So having this and having all the scripts and having to, heard the original dialogues in English, it helped a lot to visualize because you can see, obviously the pictures tell a lot, the characters, the scenarios, everything. So going through the scripts, I was making my notes like, okay, here's the part where I'm gonna scream. Here's the part where I need to project more. Here we're being, secret because we're hiding from Logan, Wolverine. We don't want to be seen, or we're running away. So it's a lot of work because like just like you said, just you have to make believe with just your voice. How do you insinuate the words? How do you scream? How do you talk? How do you go? And then my character obviously is like the comedic relief of the story, but I have some scenes that are very dense, that are very raw. So I had to go from like okay, I'm terrified for my boys. Like I'm gonna die. He's gonna kill me. And then go like, oh no, like I'm fine. I made it through. Like, what's up, guys? We can want to get some coffee, type of thing. So it was a challenge, and the director really pushed us a lot. Alejandra López, who is great, and she gave us a lot of liberty as actors as well to kind of add little things here and there throughout the recording. So that was amazing.
Yeah, the English version was the first scripted podcast for Marvel. This is La Larga Noche will be the first Spanish scripted for Marvel.
Exactly.
How do you feel being a part of something that is the first?
Man, I feel so proud. I can't even begin to describe. I mean, being Mexican myself, coming to LA, to the United States with a big dream, to Los Angeles, leaving my family from Dallas, and then being part of something like this is a dream come true. I feel so proud to be Latino. I feel so proud to be Mexican, to be an actor in this business, and for them to release it during Hispanic Heritage Month, which was even a bigger deal, was crazy. So I'm so happy.
Yeah, that is really awesome. And
Yeah.
uh, this is even though this isn't part of the canon universe of the movies, it is still an incredible Wolverine story that is part of the entire like multiverse. How do you feel being part of something like that, like as huge as Marvel is, especially being Hispanic, and a lot of times we don't get those types of opportunities. How do you feel like actually getting into this Marvel universe?
I mean, like I said, being a huge Marvel fan myself, I feel so happy, so privileged, and so proud because opportunities like this don't come so often, especially for Latino actors, Latino artists, like myself in this industry. So when they do come around, they're very hard to get. I mean, the casting process was crazy. And we're also making history by having the first ever female director on any Spanish speaking Marvel projects. She was Alejandra López from Puerto Rico, and so just with that alone, she had to fight her way through many other options for directors to get the gig. She told me later on that she had to go through different filters just to have an interview to like, okay, this is what I can do for the project. And then, okay, now you're gonna meet with so and so. Okay, another meeting, and now you're gonna meet with the big names. Okay, so you ready? Yeah, I got my stuff ready. Let's do it. There was some hesitation because they're used to having the male directors for this type of projects, and like, okay, we're gonna trust the first ever Spanish project Marvel does, globally to female director. And she was like, hell yeah, I can do it. Watch me. And she did an amazing job. So being part of the whole story and having Joaquin Cosio, playing Wolverine, who's, to me, he's an icon in Mexican cinema, and I look up to him a lot. Bruno Bichir, who comes from theater, who also has a lot of many amazing credits to his name, and working alongside big names like that, to me, was like, wow, here I am, this upcoming actor working with these huge celebrities, and putting my two little grains to the character and being part of this amazing project. So I'm over the moon.
Awesome. And I listened to the English one, the Long Night.
Yeah.
The sound is incredible. How do you research it, listen to this, and not try to just imitate what they did, since it is such a great podcast?
Exactly. Well, that was the challenge. Like, Alejandra was very clear from the beginning. She was like, we're not just gonna copy paste what the English cast did. We want to create our own version. We're Latinos. We have more flavor. We have more fire. So of course, the interpretation for every role, like if you listen to them, in parallel, the English version with the Spanish version, they're completely different. You get the same story, obviously, the same message comes across, but the interpretations are very different. So I was very happy that she allowed me to add my own flavor to the character, because the English guy, obviously, the bar was really high. I'm like, man, that guy is good. He really, did his thing. But I was like, okay, let me go this route and see how that works, because from the casting, that's what I did. I tried to do something different than probably everybody else that submitted for the role did. And I feel like that's what worked for me in this particular case.
You seem like you have a lot of passion for this.
I do, man.
When you get a role like this,
Mhm.
how much do you talk to a director and give your opinion, and how much do you take from it? How's that collaboration work for you?
Well, what Alejandra did, she actually called every single one of us. I spent at least, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe more, with her on the phone, just talking about the character. After I read the first episode, because they would only send us, episodes per week, because everything is so secretive, and they cannot just, oh, here's the whole thing. We didn't even know the title of the project until we got the contract.
Mhm.
For us, it was Aurora, because there's the Aurora group in the podcast. So, and we didn't know it was Marvel. It was just sold to us like, oh, a Spanish podcast, casting by Carla Hull, who casts, Gentify, Selena, all these big Narcos, all these big shows. So to me, I was like, okay, I need to do a really good job with this. And we spent like at least 30, 45 minutes on the phone just talking about the character, like the backstory. She was like, what do you think? What do you think Bobby's backstory is? And I'm like, well, with the little information that I have from the auditions and from what's here in the synopsis that I'm getting on the first scripts, like, this guy loves his job. He loves to, because he's a new deputy, in town, and he's learning, and he's being put out to be sort of the sidekick for these two main investigators. And he loves to have fun. He loves his job. He loves to make people laugh. And I'm like, wait, that's kind of like me. I'm very similar to Bobby in that sense. And he just wants to do the best he can with his job. So she was like, okay, but you know what? Also, Bobby, you will find out he has a backstory. There's something that he's hiding that is more than meets the eye with this guy. And I'm like, I could tell, because there were some lines that he was like, he would go from being very funny, very over the top, and then stop himself to say like, you know what, everybody comes to Burns to start over. Maybe that's why Logan is doing, because I know myself that I came here to do the same, kind of in Spanish, obviously. So I was like, oh, that gave me a lot of like, wait a minute, there's something more with this guy. And then eventually we'll find out why, but I'm not gonna spoil it.
Awesome.
So it was a process. It was a process for sure.
I'm sure it was. And how connected do you feel to this character now?
Oh man, now that obviously the podcast is done, we finished recordings. I listened to everything that is being released as of today. I feel very connected in the sense that, as humans, not just myself, but as humans, we feel like we've been through a lot, especially during this pandemic. So there's always hope. And this guy is super optimistic. He always finds the silver linings in every situation. And I feel like that's something that I can relate to right now, because, during the pandemic, we actually recorded this during the pandemic. And as an actor myself, I wasn't working as much. I was like, God, what's going to happen? I'm running out of savings here. Like, something needs to happen. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, you booked this podcast. And then boom, it's Marvel. And then boom, it's a lead role. I'm like, whoa, okay, I'll take it. Thank you. So definitely I can relate with Bobby in that sense. We're both very positive, and we always try to find the silver lining on every hard situation, per se.
That is awesome. even though you're connected to this character and you enjoy playing him,
Yeah.
given the opportunity, what is your dream role in Marvel? Which
Oh
character would you
man,
want to give a shot at playing?
where do I start? I mean, there's so many. Like, I mean, I'm not even gonna go into superhero stuff because I would talk for hours. But I think something like I don't know. You know, like the new series they did, WandaVision.
Mhm.
The role, obviously, she's a female, but the witch, the neighbor, what's her name? Oh my gosh, I'm really bad with names. Anyways, a character like that people are not expecting to have that sort of twist because she killed it. I mean, Catherine Hahn, I believe her name. She did an amazing job. I was like, wow, I would love to play something like that one day. You know, where you're like, okay, here's comedic, but then boom, I can switch it over and give you something deeper. So that would be for me a dream role. Obviously, whether on any platform, you know.
That is awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on this.
Thank you,
And
man. Appreciate
I,
it.
I hope to be hearing more, especially because there is a season two in the English. I don't know if the
Yeah.
Spanish will have this
Yeah.
season two, but yeah, congratulations and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And to all your fans out there, all your listeners, please check out the podcast in Spanish. Wolverine La Larga Noche is out now. A new episode every Monday. So you have 5 episodes left. So check it out. Thank
Awesome. Thank you very much.
you, man. Have a good one.
You too.